saw her win, and I thought to myself, oh my God, that was
her.
We could have definitely bought her. We could have gone back and bought her. We didn't. We ended up with a different horse, and that horse is pretty good. But the point, I sent a text to Niall Brennan. I'm like, I cannot believe you let me not buy this horse.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Off the Track podcast, a daily racing form interview series where we go beyond the past performances and the handicapping. We get the chance to find out more about these unique and talented individuals who have made their way up in the world of horse racing. This week, it's the founder and managing partner of Little Red Feather Racing, the largest racing syndicate on the West Coast. Billy Koch joins us to talk all about, he started Little Red Feather, getting involved with some of his friends, early successes, some of the ups and downs, and how they're all about the experience for their owners, making sure that the owners have a great time when they come out to the track. Enjoy this conversation with Billy Koch. Very excited about our next guest. We haven't had a chance to talk to an owner yet, and what an owner we have to discuss. The founder, managing partner of Little Red Feather, the largest horse racing syndicate on the West Coast, Billy Koch from Little Red Feather Racing. Billy, how's everything going on your end?
It's all good, Gino. We're in Del Mar. Couldn't be better. No complaints. No complaints.
Right. The first couple of weeks at Del Mar, too, the weather's been great. Big fields, big racing. We see some of our friends over at Saratoga when it's pouring down, and we tell them, come on out here, right? It's great out here.
Oh, I'm sorry, suckers.
I know. So
no, it's been great. Del Mar's done a great job. Yeah, you said full fields, great gambling cards, great crowds. Every day has been just sensational, and the races have been great too.
And I saw you guys have, you as you do yearly, you have that big opening day party where you get everybody excited and pumped up for Del Mar. And it just seems like you guys have such a blast. We're going to get through the syndicate and all the things that you've done through the years. But coming to Del Mar seems like something that's like a real goal for you to bring a lot of your partners down, have fun, and just show them what that experience is like.
Well, it's yes. I mean, everything you said is true. It's also, it's the summer, so a lot of people have some time off, or they bring their families down here, and I think that, Little Red Feather and most partnerships, it's a real communal experience, and we consider ourselves a family, and so it's really nice to get everybody together in one place, and people just enjoy coming out here and sitting on the veranda or getting a nice box or a table overlooking Del Mar and spending the day down here. There's nothing better.
What's cool too, in just the first few weeks of the meet, we've had the chance to see some of your familiar faces, the big names from your barn, like Balnikov, who just ran in the Eddie Reed. And then we've seen some of the up and coming stars like Thought Process, who is an absolute monster and a freak. And it's really cool to see how you have these horses. Unfortunately, Gold Phoenix got scratched in the Eddie Reed. How's everything going with him, right? Because he was supposed to run.
He's super fine. He had a little like a skin irritation. And so it was really just nothing. I mean, he went to the track that morning and he went to the track the next day.
Okay, cool.
And he'll come back very quickly. We're thinking about a race in a couple weeks, possibly for him. So thankfully nothing was wrong. We were upset we didn't get to run, and not upset, but disappointed we didn't get to run. Formidable Man is such a good horse though, man. I don't know if we would even beat him that day. He was awesome.
The Gold Phoenix, 3-time Del Mar handicap winner. You've got Balnikov, who's won so many big races through the years. You've got some of the new young horses. I mean, when you sit back and I'm researching, to talk with you about some of the horses that you've had through the years, it's an amazing list. Like, it starts growing and it's page after page after page. And it starts with Singletary, obviously. You have horses like Elm Drive and Egg Drop. But I mean, you get into Gold Phoenix, Midnight Storm, Balnikov, My Boy Tate, Conclude, Beer Can Man, Nagarok, Newgrange, Red King, Sheer Pleasure. I mean, we're going through some really nice, some really nice horses through the years.
I mean, truthfully, Gino, it's all a tribute to our partners. I mean, they're the ones who, put up the money, and they have they have great trust in us and what we're looking for. And I think over the years, if you see the trend of what we've done is more, quality over quantity. I mean, we still have our claiming funds. We love claiming horses, and it's fun to get that action, and it's fun to study. But at really the what we want is those graded stakes winners that you mentioned. That's what we're looking for, and that's how you get better. I mean, you evolve. You look for certain things. We're on the West Coast. It's really hard to get a big time dirt colt unless you get really lucky, because I mean, you saw the other day that gray beast of Baffert's. It's like not
Yep.
it's not fun to run against them. If you notice, a lot of the horses that you said, a lot of them are turf horses. A lot of them are graded stakes winners on the grass, or a sprinter, or that we have to do that because our home base is Southern California, and if we want to be successful, it kind of forces our hand.
And they're like your kids. They all are important and you love them all in different ways. But I'd imagine Singletary being like one of those first ones for you, always going to hold a special place. And you win with Singletary so early on with your syndicate. Are you almost feeling like it's going to be kind of easy for us now? We're going to be doing this all the time, like right off the bat.
Yes. In fact, because of that, I will tell you that, we almost went out of business because truthfully, when you have success like that so early, I really didn't know what I was doing back then. I mean, I had no idea. I mean, even though I've been going to the track since, I was a little kid, really didn't take up ownership to probably the first horse I syndicated was in 1991. So that dates myself a little bit, but, I didn't really understand the game. And I think I still don't. I'll be honest. Like, there's things I learn every single day. And I think if you go into it with that approach that you want to learn, and if something happens to one of our horses, I talk to our vets. I think it's really important as an owner to get as much information as you can, because even me, who's been in this game for a long, long time, there's new things, there's new technologies, there's new, whatever it is, whatever the case may be. That's the way to get better, is by educating yourself and saying to yourself, hey, I don't know everything. I think that's really important.
And when you're young, it's hard. I remember the same thing for me. You're kind of young, you get excited, you have confidence, but
Right.
this game humbles you so often that the
Sure.
best thing you can do is what you said. Just go into it knowing I don't know everything. And it's always cool. I can always learn from these people that I'm talking to. And I can honestly, in just talking to you through the years, I can actually feel it from you, just like the difference. And like, as we get a little bit older, we kind of step back a little bit more and we let the people who really, like the traders and those people get their hands on. And have there been any?
So much, it's an interesting point. It's like, I think also, I mean, another valuable point for an owner is really surrounding yourself with people that have your best interest in mind. I think, and people that are willing to teach you and willing to take the time to talk to you and ultimately trust you. I think there's not only should you trust your trainer and trust the people around you, but they need to be able to trust you as well. They need to be able to trust you to disseminate the information, especially when you're in a syndicate and you're talking to hundreds of people at the same time. And also that you're willing to go and reinvest. I think one of the things that our partner and our partnership has been really good at is finding new horses every year and using people like the John Dowds of the world and Tom McCrocklins of the world, and then trainers like Phil D'Amato, being able to go and reinvest and not just sit on your laurels, and rest on your laurels, I should say. When you have, we found this partnership. I became friendly with Brett Jones, and we just started this partnership several years ago where we take RNAs. I mean, does anybody, people could have bought Thought Process or Conclude at the sale. Those are RNA'd horses that ultimately wound up in this partnership. And we had, again, you build relationships with people like Brett and Ben Henley over at Airdrie Stud. And of course, Madicket, who's our partner there, Saul Cumin and John Panagot and Amanda. That's a really another kind of, I don't know why I'm giving tips today. I should probably keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I was going to say, but
building relationships within the industry with good people and people you like and people you trust. My dad always used to say, make sure when you go into business with people you like, people you want to have dinner with. That's like a very key thing. And I think it's important.
That is one of the best things about being a horse owner, is getting to pick the people on your team.
Sure.
How many other sports do you really get a chance to do that, right? You get to pick your friends, your family, your trainer, the coach, the jockey, all of that together. And then you get to have that experience. And it's not always going to be great, but you experience those highs and lows together with the people that you really like. I mean, you had
Absolutely.
a tough, frustrating day on Sunday where
Oh,
it could have been a lot worse, right, for Gold Phoenix, but you've got people kind of expecting the horse to run and you're out there. But then you think about it, it could be a lot worse. Like, you're going to go back and forth, right? You have those ups and downs, but I'm sure.
I thought, yes. I mean, this game is a roller coaster. We know that. I've said that probably 1,000 times on my podcast, and you have to wear big boy pants in this game. You have to understand that things aren't always going to go the way you want them to go, and you have to be ready to accept that failure. I mean, if you win 20% of the time, you're doing really well, right? So you're going to lose 4 out of every 5 races. Sometimes that's tough. And these horses, listen, they're athletes. They get hurt. I always tell people, Roy Firestone called them the $1 million animals with the 10-cent legs. If you just look at the way they run and the pounding that they take, they get hurt. And just like professional athletes get hurt, I can't even think of an example, but a football player and they're all waiting for their quarterback, and all of a sudden the quarterback goes down, right?
Yep.
They've built their whole season on that quarterback. Well, thankfully in this game, you do have some other horses that can come and rise above and take the time while that horse is on the farm. But it's a rough sport. I tell everybody that you cannot come into the sport expecting to make money. You can't come into this sport expecting to just have all the success in the world. You're just not. It's not that kind of game. You have to continue to get better, get smarter, learn, educate, get with people you like and people you respect and people you trust. And ultimately, you could find success.
Being a baseball player, I always tell my friends that don't know as much about racing, I compare it to baseball. Like, the Hall of Famers are getting out 70+% of the time. That's the best. So mentally, you got to be ready to just know that most days are going to probably be those harder type days. Do you guys have any of those, like, what if horses that you just missed out on? Or maybe you were like an underbidder on a horse that ended up, or like maybe a horse that you like, but they had an issue. Any woulda, coulda, what if horses from you?
Great question. We bid on so many horses that we
That's
don't
what I figured.
buy. It's really hard to keep track. It's funny though, when you're at the track, you're reminded. So if a horse like that, I know a horse that filly that won at Saratoga on the grass about 2 weeks ago, and I can't remember her name. She has kind of a cute name. She was sold by Niall Brennan, and I loved the horse. And she went through the ring and like RNA'd for like 190. I think George Weaver ended up buying her. And I just happened to be watching, I don't know, whatever I was watching, TVG or Saratoga Live or something that day. And I saw her win, and I thought to myself, oh my God, that was her. We could have definitely bought her. We could have gone back and bought her. We didn't. We ended up with a different horse, and that horse is pretty good. But the point, I sent a text to Niall Brennan. I'm like, I cannot believe you let me not buy this horse, So yeah, it happens. It happens a lot because you're at a sale with hundreds of horses and you're going to bid. We have a certain budget. I mean, there's one thing that we really try to do is stick to the budget when we have it, because we know the price range that our partners really appreciate and also give them a chance to be successful. So it's very rare for us to go out and buy a $600,000 horse or $700,000 horse. There's a new trend right now, and that is partnering on a lot of these horses. And you've seen that from the Avengers and these people who are all, making these consortiums to buy these really expensive horses. We kind of stepped out of our box this year at OBS April and bought 2 really nice colts, and we partnered on them with other people. So we own a third of one and a quarter of the other. And it was because, we wanted to stay competitive, and the prices were so high. We love these horses, and we just couldn't do it on our own. So sometimes you got to do something you haven't done before.
And that's the kind of thing that you've been talking about over the last 20+ years. You have to be willing to make adjustments, to be flexible. That's the thing that you see. All these different partnerships, different time where you're owning a lot of horses, where you're having pieces of horses, it just is something that you've been willing to adjust through the years. And that's what I've really liked in seeing and talking with the people that have worked with you. It's not like you're saying, hey, this is how we do it. It's got to be this way. Very stubborn about it. You're actually the total opposite about that. You want to find those people that want to get involved and say, hey, like, at what level do you want to get involved? How much? We'll get you, and we'll make you feel comfortable about it and have a good time doing it.
Yeah, there's a great line in Moneyball that says, when he says adapt or die. And I kind of live my life like that. If you're too stringent on what you think and the ways that which you do things, you're going to maybe have success sometimes, but you're not going to get any better. And I think if you're able to adapt and see what's going on in the world, then I think that's a bonus for you.
Let's start with Little Red Feather and how it began. I love hearing about the name,
Oh
something
man,
from Grandpa, right?
We're going that far.
We're going back. Grandpa stories,
Wow.
right? That's where you got the name from?
Yeah, for those of you who've heard this story 7,000 times, I apologize. But yeah, my grandfather loved horses, loved horse racing, and he used to tell me bedtime stories about a fictitious Indian chief named Chief Little Red Feather. So when he passed in the early 2000s and we really started to take off, we went with Little Red Feather as a tribute to him. I have no Indian ties. It is not, it is just, it's a fable, and it's been successful and people like it. Little Red Feather. I mean, it's kind of catchy. We should change it to, somebody said that we're not so little anymore. So we might have to change the name, maybe just Red Feather. We have the red feather hats for this summer. So that's, there you go. We'll have to send you a hat.
I had some of my investigative reporters helping me out here, and my mom, Mrs. Buccola, said, make sure to ask him about the Little Red Feather cookie that we get down in Del Mar too at the cookie shop. Right. So you guys are like world renowned. They got cookies named after Little Red Feather.
We used to have a sushi place right near my house, and we used to go there all the time. It's no longer there anymore. It was called Bonsai, and we became friends with the head guy there, and he actually made a Little Red Feather roll. So that was a fitting tribute. Yeah, we had the cookies. Listen, it's fun. You try to have fun, and we try to make things fun. I think that's really important. Look, you know me very well. I take this really seriously. I take my job seriously. On Sunday, we had a rough day with Gold Phoenix. We had a couple of really weird trips with two of our horses on Sunday, and I wanted to literally go in my car and just scream and smash the steering wheel 700 times. But there were friends and family around, and you gotta put on you're as the kind of de facto leader. You have to stay positive. You have to. And by the end of the day, I was laughing about it. And, I think Scotty Scheffler was pretty awesome a couple of weeks ago when he was talking about what things are truly important, and as much as we want to win and we want these horses to do well, your family, your core beliefs, your friends, that's really the most important thing. All the other stuff that we do is just icing on the cake. And thankfully, I'm very grateful for what I get to do and the people who I get to work with and kind of represent.
I saw some great videos over the last few days on social media too, of some of the young kids from some of your owners with the horses, meeting them. And that's just something that I remember growing up as my mom and dad met each other at the track and being a racetrack family. And you're kind of doing this like most of your life before you're even working, right? Like you're bringing your friends to the track, you're telling them how to bet, you're explaining it to them. Oh, this is where we go and we have a drink. And it's funny to see that, because I remember doing the kinds of things with my friends growing up that you're doing right now. You're taking them and having an experience. They're meeting the jockeys. They're talking with the jockeys and trainers. They're going in the winner's circle. Then you guys all go out afterwards. It just seems like I'm watching you, Billy, and I'm like, I sent a message over to DRF. I was like, hey, one of these Friday nights, I'm going out there, hanging out with them, and I'm going to write this off for the podcast. How about that? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we have a lot of fun. I think it's good to make, impressions on especially the kids. And, we have to grow this game. We have to get new fans, and there's no better way to take them to the backstretch. It's one of my favorite things to do with our partners. Selfishly, and it makes me feel good when they just see these horses. And we had a couple of kids come out this weekend, and they're part owners in Thought Process, and they went up to her and they were just loving on her, and she's just got her head down and getting scratched and getting carrots, and it makes an impression. And also it kind of I don't know if this is the right word, but it kind of humanizes the sport, even though we're talking about animals, excuse me, that you can go back and see just what's really going on behind the curtain. So I think a lot of people go to the track and they bet their $50 and they see these horses going around in circles and they think that's cool, right? But there are so many people behind the scenes making that happen, not only from the track side, but I'm more talking about, the owners and the trainers and the grooms and the hot walkers and the vets and all the people back there getting that horse to a race. It is a monumental task just to get a horse into a race. And it's nice when people go back and I take them and I show them the training charts and I show them what they do in the mornings and the exercise riders. And there's so much to it. It's like a giant data dump for these people, but it's in a good way. And I think they come out of those barn visits with like a little more respect for the game,
Absolutely.
which I like, and kind of understanding, wow, this is a lot of work. This is not just this is not playtime.
When you're walking around those animals and they're huge too, it's another like, whoa, it doesn't matter how much money, how big or little you are. Like if that horse wants to go, they're going to go. And you know, you feel small when you're around them.
Better be careful.
I'd imagine like your job is great, right? You have a lot of friends out that you're working with, but it also has got to be difficult at some point because you have a lot of different partners, but at the most important, you're thinking we got to do what's right by the horses. We also want to take shots and have fun, right? You're doing a couple different things at the same time. So it's a dance that you have to do, because I'd imagine there are days where you got to go to some of those partners and say some disappointing things, or maybe, you know, one group wants to do this, one group wants to do that. And you have to kind of be maybe the deciding factor when you have so many different voices like that. How does that process work sometimes?
Well, it's actually really simple, because you said it. The horse always comes first. So that's period, end of story. And we try to do what's best for the horse. And that makes things pretty simple. You know, my business partner, Gary Fenton, used to say that there always has to be a dad in the family, or a dad in the conversation. And thankfully I get to be that dad a lot of times. So, you know, but there is a fine line, and sure, you do take some shots sometimes. And as long as they call me the manager, the master of managing expectations. So I try in my communication to the partners to make sure that I'm always really honest. Number one, very transparent,
realistic,
and if we are, and realistic too. You know, we do all kinds of stuff. I mean, they get so many emails, and they get race previews that we do, kind of like what you do. We do our own race previews. And in those race previews, you know, I'm very candid, you know, hey, if we're 10-1, there's a reason we're 10-1, you know. If we're 6-5, you know, well, we're expected to win. So, but even in that, there comes expectations, and I think they just need to be managed. And look, one of the best things about horse racing is when you go to the races and you're an owner, doesn't matter if you're part of a syndicate or you own on your own, when you walk into that racetrack, you believe in your heart of heart that your horse has a chance and is going to win. You just do. That's what all of us do.
If you're in it, you know you got a shot. That's how you feel.
And nobody wants to take that away. You know, I think one of my problems is probably I'm too realistic. You know,
sometimes
because I've been around for a really long time, and I know trainers speak. I know kind of, I'm able to read a form and look at sheets.
You know, the other horses and the other,
I can say like, we're kind of up against it today. You know what I mean? Like, so, but at the same time, you don't want to take that away from the other people that are out there that haven't been to the track every single day for the last 6 weeks, and they're coming down to see their horse and they're excited. And you don't want to take that away from them. You want to be excited, and you are excited, but at the same time, probably in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh no, like we don't have a chance today. But it happens, and stranger things happens, and that's why they run the race.
How does the process of the sales work for you guys with the big group? Is it you, Gary, a couple other people? You have some of the folks that help you out, or if some of these owners want to come out there with you, how does that work?
Oh yeah, anybody. We always invite people to come out. It's a very stressful environment. It's not for the faint of heart. It's thankfully we have a guy like John Dowd who's worked with us for the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and he's great. He's a one-man wrecking crew. I mean, he does so much work, and he's there a week early, and he's watching the breezes or going to the yearling sales early, and he does a lot of the legwork. And then ultimately we make the decision on where, you know, budgetary and you know, and for a syndicate, you know, you also have to, we're resellers, right? So we have to be careful, and we have to have things that people want. I mean, you know, you have sometimes, you know, it's very difficult to buy a horse that doesn't have much sire power, or the dam is blank, or, you know, you want a little pedigree. You want something that you have to put out there that people might be excited about. But it all starts with the experts. Like, I would not go, look, we've already said this. I've been in the game for a long time. I would not go to a sale and buy a horse by myself. There's no chance. And I could identify some horses that I like, and I think
Sure.
that over the years I've gotten better at looking at horses. But I'm like everybody else. I've watched YouTube videos of Dwayne Lucas and and Baffert and all these guys. Like I listen, that's how you learn, and that's how you get better, and to talk to people. So I would suggest anybody who's trying to get in the game, get with a bloodstock agent that knows what they're doing. And I really think John is fantastic, and there's a lot of others out there, and I'm friends with a lot of the other guys, and it's great to kind of pick their brains sometimes, or why did you buy that horse, or what were you looking for. But it's it's not hard for Donato to buy a $3 million gun runner.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
that's out of my league.
Yep. So how do you guys, with a big group like that, figure out
Yeah.
naming? Is that just go randomly when you're picking out
You
names for
know,
horses?
it's interesting. It really depends on the partnership a lot of the time. With all due respect to the partners, like if you bought a horse, a lot of times if we just open it up to partners, I'll get names like Gino's Princess.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably not going to happen. And again,
Yeah.
we're resellers, so we try to just be creative with our naming, and we try to name the horse before we send it out to the partners. But
Yeah.
that's not always the case. A lot of times, my good friend Kevin Bogart, who's one of our investors, we bought a horse recently privately. He actually ran on Sunday, and he runs under Sterling Stables, and we named the horse Sterling C. So there are times where we do it, but we try to have fun with it. I mean, I like Ice Cream You Scream. Her, she's by Twirling Candy out of Silver Screamer. So
Yeah.
we found a
Fun
great
name.
name, and it
Yeah.
worked out. I think good horses have good names. You don't want to have bad names. Although Michelle Yu hates that name, but I stand by it, and she's a grade 1 winner. So there you go.
My test was always like doing it in the Trevor voice, right? Could I hear Trevor calling that horse's name?
Yeah.
And I Scream
Let's
You
see.
Scream is a great one. And let's see,
Yeah.
here comes I Scream You Scream. Always
Ice Cream You.
sounds great.
He had problems with conclude for some reason. He
Yeah.
called him conclude, which was
Yeah.
very strange. But you know what? We miss Trevor. He had an unbelievable career. I love all the work that he put in, but I'm very happy that Larry Colmus is with us. Larry's
Totally
awesome.
agree.
Yeah,
Great.
he's one of the best, if not the best in the business. So
It's never easy to be the guy after the guy, but Larry is a perfect guy for that because he's called
Absolutely.
big races. He's been in big moments. Like he's not
100%.
feeling pressure like that.
Yes, sir.
So where we sit right now, end of July, how many
Yep.
horses do you guys have? Is there like a limit you're usually shooting for? Or you don't want to go too big, you said, or you're in the like 100-ish range, something like that? Is that how many horses? Yeah, how many horses are you guys having at a time? Or like,
I think
yeah,
we have
sorry.
like probably 35 to 40 right now,
Okay.
would be my guess.
How many different trainers right now?
Most right now we have, let's see, we have Phil D'Amato. We have a 2-year-old filly in New York running Thursday with Michelle Nevin. We have our first horse with Tim Yakteen that might run this weekend. Mike Pipey has that really nice filly Eiffel for us.
Yeah.
But Phil D'Amato has the bulk of our horses. He's done a fantastic job taking over for the late Mike Mitchell, and
Yeah.
you've seen the level of his game just rise. And Phil, what makes Phil great is he's not only a great horseman and a great trainer, but he's also a great communicator. We're good friends. He puts me in my place a lot. Gives me dirty
That's what you need
looks
to.
constantly.
Yeah.
Makes fun of me constantly. So it's a good partnership. And again, going back to what I said earlier, he excuse me, he trusts us to continue to put good horses in his barn. And I think when you do that for a trainer, listen, they're not going to work any harder, but they're going to, they appreciate it. And he does a lot for us. I mean, the amount of videos I do with Phil is ridiculous. And Rispoli was there this morning when I was doing some videos with Phil, and Rispoli said that he should start charging me. So
Yeah.
who knows if I might get a video bill or something like that, Gino. I'm not going to charge you for this, though.
I was going to say, if we need to get your SAG card and all that stuff, I think with Dad and Grandpa, you've had some connections over there.
Yeah,
I'm sure through the years, and your son also. So
Yes.
I mean, talked about Phil, but through the years, I mean, you guys have had like Ron helped you with horses too. Ron Ellis, right? John
He's our
Chatlos,
first
obviously.
trainer.
Yeah.
John,
Mike
one
Mitchell,
Yep.
Graham Motion, even too, right? And then Phil, like, so you're willing to take a look, but for the most part, you're based here on the West Coast. But as you said, you have horses that run all over, and you guys are willing to run in big races and ship all over the place.
Yeah, I think you have to in this day and age. I think, when opportunities present itself, like we took Ironman Cal to run on the American turf on Derby Day off the layoff. We really wanted to get a race into him before that. We just missed it by a little bit timing wise. And then all of a sudden it pours rain and it's soft. So like, I think in this game when it's appropriate, yeah, sure, feel free and take a shot. But you better have the goods. We took Gold Phoenix there that day. He ran an amazing fourth, or I think he was fourth or fifth. He got beat a length and a half. I mean, in $1 million race, we're in California. We don't have a lot of $1 million races, especially turf races out here. So if the opportunity presents itself, we'll go. Phil's not the best shipper in the world. He's from the Mike Mitchell school. And sometimes I have to I got to needle him a little bit. Like, Phil, you need to try this,
Yeah, let's take a shot.
But it's hard. It's hard. But listen, the horses right now back east and in Kentucky, it's no picnic.
One thing that from the very beginning of you getting involved with ownership that you've been an advocate for is Aftercare. I mean, you've been, and that's been something that I think has been a really big staple of you, Little Red Feather, in different ways through the years. But right now you have Little Red Feather Cares, LRF Cares. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we started LRF Cares, man. I don't even know how long ago now. It was a while back. Just wanted to make sure that our equine athletes always had a place to go when they were done racing. We do a lot of fun stuff. We're having our inaugural golf tournament to benefit. It's called the Pacific Classic Challenge. I'm really excited. I've never done a golf tournament before, but we've got 92 players. It's at La Valle. It's on Monday, August 25th. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. We've got all kinds of prizes and live auction items, and we've got a great swag bag, and we're really excited about that. We have a handicapping contest coming up this weekend. You can go to Horse Players to sign up for that, and so it's really important. I'm also the president of Karma, which you probably know, which is the California Aftercare Association, and we raise money. We have Karmathon coming up this summer. It's always a fun day, and we raise between 150 and 300,000 that goes directly to all the Aftercare horses in Southern California. And I mean, to me, I think it's probably the most important aspect of our game. I think people come out, and I can't tell you how many people ask me, like, what happens to these horses when they're done racing? And I can't think of anything more important than making sure that we as a society of a horse racing society take care of these horses once they're done. They give so much to us. It's important that all owners have a responsibility to give back to them. And that's my stance.
So for those who didn't know about Billy growing up in Southern California, family was involved in the movie industry. Where did you grow up? Were you more closer to Santa Anita or Hollywood?
No, I was a Hollywood Park guy. My grandfather was of Hollywood Park. I loved Hollywood Park. I missed Friday nights.
That was awesome.
I can't believe we let that place go, but it is what it is. It's sad.
So then you get into playing baseball as you get older, right? You go to Northwestern, you're playing baseball in college. What were you thinking around that time? I mean, if you're in college, you're probably hoping to play in the pros, but are you thinking about like a career in horse racing then? Or in the movies, or what are you thinking about?
I was never good enough to make pro baseball. The other Billy Koch did that.
The A's guy, right?
But I figured I would just follow in my dad and my grandfather's footsteps and be in the movie business. I graduated. I worked on a movie called Wayne's World. I was the key set PA on that movie. I had done some PA work in college, and I figured I would just be in the movie business. And I had some odd jobs as I finished that, and just said, you know what, I need to be involved in horse racing. And thankfully, a gentleman by the name of Bruce Corwin, who is no longer with us, he was the sweetest man. And I said, Bruce, I need to do this. I need to go buy some horses. I need to raise some money. I had put together some little funds, and Bruce actually gave me $100,000, and he said, go ahead. And we sent Don Chatlos to Florida to a couple farms. And one of the horses he came back with was Singletary. And really that just put us on the map and almost destroyed us as well, because we thought, like you said, hey, this is so easy.
We'll do this every year. Yeah.
Not nearly as easy. And that was our first Breeders' Cup winner and our last one. So we're still trying back. It's now 24, it's 21 years. So we got to get back there.
I read a quote doing some research for the interview that said Billy chose racetrack characters over Hollywood characters and has been in the business ever since. I love that. I thought that was great. Right. That seems
Believe me, I have worked with listen, I love the movies. I love movies. I like TV. I like all the shows. My son is an actor. My other son is an editor. My other son's a musician. So the very creative crew, and I'm really proud of them. But I am not a Hollywood guy by any means. I just didn't fit. I had too big of a mouth. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't fit in that. I like the horses. They don't talk back.
Exactly. And you kind of know tons of talent in the family, grandfather and pops producing some big movies and TV shows. Your wife's a personal trainer, right?
She
and like an author to
wrote a bunch of books. She was the personal trainer to the stars. She trained Michelle Pfeiffer and Julia Roberts and all these people back in the 90s and early 2000s. So yeah, she believe me, she was working hard when I was making nothing.
And as a proud pops, one son a film editor, one son a musician, and your other son, Cooper, I have to say, when I put the connection together, I couldn't believe it. Cooper was in the Netflix series Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. He was fantastic. I mean, if I had to buy stock in someone right now, I would buy stock in him, that in the next few years, you're going to see him like.
I have a lot of stock. I have a lot of stock in him. So if someone needs to buy some, have him call me. Gino. Yeah,
I'll take a little.
He was nominated for an Emmy, which is really exciting, and he was nominated for a Golden Globe. And they just announced he's doing a new movie in Italy that stars Andrew Garfield and the gentleman Luca. I never say his last name right. He did Call Me by Your Name. So yeah, he's an up and comer for sure, and we're over the moon proud.
So if you're not at the track, which is almost always, or if you're not talking about racing, where are you? Where might we find you?
I'm in Del Mar right now. I'm usually at the beach.
Yeah. Okay.
I like on my off days to go to the beach, and I just literally sit in my chair. I fall asleep in about 25-minute increments, and then I go in the water, and then I come back. I'm usually by myself, just trying to decompress. The weekends are, listen, I am not complaining. The weekends are awesome. Del Mar runs 4 days a week, and we're there, and we have a lot of horses running and a lot of people there, and it's so much fun. But usually on Mondays, which is when we're taping this thing, and you could probably see it in my eyes. I'm like, I'm a little beat up by the time Monday. And then I catch my breath, and then usually Tuesday and Wednesday I try to get a golf game so I can really not think about horse racing, because I'm a little bit of a psychopath. I mean, I'm on my computer. I'm watching races from all over the country. I'm doing research.
Looking sales, looking at the next course.
And I really study our races. I become really good friends with a lot of the jockeys, and especially the ones that ride for us. And I personally enjoy, and might be selfish again, but I enjoy talking about it. Look, if you got a guy like Flavien Prat or Irad, that they know what they're doing, and they don't need instructions, even though Pratt makes fun of me every time when I try to talk to him. But these guys, there's really good guys out here, like Antonio Fresu rides for us a lot. And, he's been known to even call me the night before a race, or I call him or text him, and we kind of talk about it. Ricky Gonzalez is my golfing partner, and he rides for us. So we like really talking about the races. I think it's important. I think you have to decide what kind of owner you want to be, and I have a lot of experience in this, so I think that the jockeys sometimes will take some, at least not tips or anything, but hey, look, there's a ton of speed in here. Just let them go. Come get them late. Whatever it is
about the horse individually that they may not know, right? The demeanor of the horse, or other horses in the race. Like you said, you may not, you may know better some of the other horses in the race and their speed and their style. And it's not coming off like you're trying to tell them what to do, as much as like a team effort of, hey, let's make sure you know everything about this horse that there is to know.
Yeah, most of the time I'm there before Phil or one of the trainers, and I'm just talking to the jockey, and the first thing the trainer says is, "Don't listen to anything he just said." So that's just how it goes. I mean, that's
the dynamic
part of it. But yeah, no, I picked up golf about a year and a half ago, and I'm an 18.5 handicap right now. I am not very good, but I really enjoy it. My phone. I kind of put my phone away, and
I was going to ask a few texts and calls a day. I'd imagine you
get,
right?
I get a lot, but I really try to focus when I'm out there, and it's good. It's good for me. It's good in anything you do to have a hobby, something outside of your business and your profession, because I think it allows you to focus more when it is time to focus. And golf is so humbling. to go out there and you just beat yourself up constantly for 18 holes, and then you'll birdie 18, you'll say yes, I love it, to shoot a 97. But I think it's important. But that's where I am. I'm usually at the golf, or I'm at the beach, especially down here, or I'm watching a movie. I think I've watched Top Gun Maverick 17 times since I've been down here in 2 weeks. So it's usually on in the background while I'm doing my sheet work.
Okay, I got some Del Mar quick hits for you.
Yeah.
Give us a couple of breakfast spots, or your favorite breakfast spot out there at Del Mar.
Went to Stratford Cafe this morning. It's really good. It's quiet. It's walkable. Where do I go to breakfast? Sometimes I go really early in the morning to the track, so sometimes I just go to
not even eat breakfast, right? Yeah.
No, I go to Starbucks. I'm a breakfast guy. I love breakfast. Claire's is really good.
Nice.
Haven't been to this new place in the mall. I've heard pretty good things. That's really close to me. But I usually, like, if I have to go somewhere, it's usually Stratford or Claire's, or I'm trying to think of the other place that I go that's right here. They have these good buff burritos. Naked Cafe.
Oh, nice.
That's a good place. That's pretty much it. Or I'm just, I'm picking up don't tell my wife, but I'm picking up like a chocolate croissant warmed at Starbucks a lot of times.
Beautiful. So you go from the morning, then you're at the track. Where do you hang out, watch the races? Do you have any like superstitions about where you watch the races or anything like that?
Yeah, we used to watch all the races on the veranda. We sit on the veranda cafe. It's overlooking the paddock.
Great spot.
I very rarely see a live race from there for years. I never, ever watched a race live. We just watch on the little TV. And then lately, because the paddock, we just kind of come out with all our partners. We've been watching kind of underneath where the horses go out, the little tunnel.
Yeah, where you walk through. Yeah.
Last year we had a really good meet, and we started drinking we have, like, if there's 4 people, you get 2 Pacificos, and you stand around and you share the Pacificos, and you have to drink them before the race starts, and then we go out and watch the race. So you can probably call us a bunch of alcoholics if you want, but it's kind of a tradition. It kind of makes you relaxed, and you talk about other things than what's going to happen in that race. So that's our little tradition.
Okay, then you win a couple big races at Del Mar. Where's Team Little Red Feather heading on a Saturday night for dinner afterwards?
Listen, I have to say the Pamplemousse, it's so good. We were there for dinner last night, and Bill Strauss and Jeff Strauss are both very good friends, and they've invested in Little Red Feather, and I love that place. And so we go there all the time. We go to Ken's Sushi Workshop, which is now the word's out. It's very crowded there, but we love Ken. I think the sushi there is one of the best, if not the best, in the country. So if you haven't been to Ken's Sushi, we used to go over to Spica, not so much anymore. The owner, I just saw the owner, she actually bought Nell's. So I'm going to have to go to Nell's this week. We've been to Steak 48. I prefer Pamplemousse. I'm not afraid to say it on the show. But truthfully, like during the week, I like to just stay home. Sometimes I'll just DoorDash, whatever. Flower Child, I really like DoorDashing. We'll go to the Brig and have some fish tacos. It's a really good place. But everything, I'm a creature of habit, and I don't like to go far. First of all,
stay close, and you know what you like, because you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, Uber as many places as you can. Try not to get behind the wheel, and because after running in 3 or 4 races, you can imagine how many Pacificos we've had on the day. So be responsible.
You mentioned podcast, Little Red Feather podcast. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's called The Owner's Box. It's myself and Michelle Yu. We've been doing it for years and years and years. I think you've been on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe years ago. We've been doing it.
Yep.
We were actually one of the first horse racing podcasts. It used to be called
different name.
Remember what it was. The Horse Ownership Experience. The host.
Yes.
We call it. And then we went over to In the Money Media, and I do not get paid. I don't want to get paid. Anything that we get, sponsorships or from the show, I'll go to Michelle. She's the best. She kind of runs it.
Awesome.
I just talk a lot, and it's really great though, because we really stayed most of the time with owners. And when we find out a lot about people, one of the things that bothered me back in the day was they'd say, Bob Baffert's this, or Bill Mott's sovereignty. And I was like, well, it's not their horse. They train the horse, but they don't own the horse. So I wanted to give a chance for owners to come on our show and tell their stories. And I think it's kind of a cult following.
Yep.
I have no idea how many people listen to the show, but I can tell you that every racetrack in the country I go to, people go, "Hey man, love the show." And I was like, "Seriously, you listen?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah." So it has this like little cult following, and people get mad when we don't do a show, which, you know, during Los Al, we won't do a show, or leading up to Del Mar, we won't do a show, and I get like hate mail. So it's really funny, but it's on all the channels. It's on, you know, Apple Podcasts and Spotify and everywhere you can get it. It's called The Owner's Box. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of episodes. It's really good for learning. And just, you can fast forward
new owners.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can fast forward the bullshit of me and Michelle talking about stuff at the beginning and just hear these guys' stories and women's stories about how they got into the game and what they've learned. And we wanted it to be, you know, informational and educational. So I think we've done a pretty good job of it.
We're talking about Phil D'Amato razzing you a little bit. Michelle Yu is one of the best razzers around.
Yeah.
She'll give it right to you. If you're not prepared, I worked many times with Michelle. Yeah. She's prepared. You say something wrong, she will not. Frank Miramati still has some nightmares about shifts that we worked where she was just
scared. Michelle's not scared. Not scared.
Love that about her. No, not at all.
She's not afraid to speak her mind. She's very good at, listen, I think I call her the hardest working person in horse racing. I think she has like 13 jobs. You know, she flies different places and does that. She does Mom, New York, does here, Mom, Olivia, and Spencer, and takes care of Ryan Hansen. And I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, fantastic. Love all the time I've worked with Michelle. Who else did we not mention from Little Red Feather that you want to give a plug to? Who are like pieces of the team, parts of the team? Anyone? You mentioned Gary a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mentioned Gary, you know, obviously, you know, he's an integral part of our business. And John Dowd, our bloodstock agent, you know, Tom McCrocklin, I mentioned him. He taught me a lot about horse racing, and he bought, you know, Egg Drop and back in the day, and now we do a lot of our pin hooking with Tom. He's really been successful, and he's one of the hardest workers and just best people. He really cares about you. You know, and that's obviously all of our trainers, you know, and all the riders and the grooms and the exercise riders. I mean,
valets, right? Everybody all the way down. It's all the team.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And you know, the teams at the track, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, you know, we have a lot of people, and Del Mar's been great in taking care of us, and Sandy King in the racing office. She's a dream for me. She makes things so easy, and, you know, and Josh, and then you have Nate over at Santa Anita and his whole crew. And, you know, just listen, it really does. It's an army, right? But we're still lean and mean, you know, we're not this big conglomerate company, you know, It's just basically me and Gary and a bunch of great people. And the partners make it really easy, Gino. Like they are, I know, just because I speak to a lot of the other, you know, syndicate people. I mean, we're all friends. We all know each other. We all know what we do, and I have great respect for all of them. But I wouldn't trade any of the Little Red Feather partners for anybody. Like they are kind, they are giving. We have Mary Letting, who makes us, you know, bakes cookies for every time she comes to the track. You know, we have people who just, it doesn't even matter. I think one of the things that I really take pride in is it doesn't matter if our partner's in a horse or not, they're still rooting for that horse. You know, they're not, it's not
jealous
like,
or, I could have got that
horse.
one.
I mean, it's like, they you know, I always say, I've said it before on the show, I said, you know, we're like a family, and I think that's really important. And that's, I owe a debt of gratitude to all of them, and they've given me a career. So it's really all them. I don't think I had much to do with it. I just kind of steer the ship in the right direction.
If we want to find out more about Little Red Feather, where do we go to find out if we
want
to get involved?
Yeah, go to our website, littleredfeather.com. My email is billy@littleredfeather.com. So shoot me an email or check out our website. And if you're looking to get involved, happy to talk to you. And I'll give you my 30-second elevator pitch, and you can ask me as many questions as you want.
Carmathon.
Gino, I'm kind of happy. This has only been like 45 minutes. I thought you were going to go like an hour and a half.
I was going to say Carmathon, golf tourney. Those are things we wanted to plug, right? You already got some of the good plugs out of the way too.
Our golf tournament's sold out, but it's going to be really cool. And I wanted to keep it small for the first year. So like I said, we have 92 golfers. I think it's 23 teams. Maybe we could expand next year, but I wanted to do it right the first year. We've never done this before. And then, you can sign up, I believe, at horseplayers.com for our tournament this weekend. And then Carmathon is on the, oh God, Lucinda's going to kill me. It's on August
Let's see.
Oh,
We'll make sure we get the right day. We'll make sure we get the right day.
No, it's August 16th or 17th. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. 25.
Yeah, we just had a big tweet today, so it's probably on the Karma Twitter.
Okay, and we'll retweet that from DRF too, and some of the other fundraisers that you have. That's what's cool about Del Mar too and Saratoga. They both have a lot of really cool events, different nights. I know the jockey karaoke just went at Saratoga the day before you and I are recording.
August
and then
16th, I was right.
Yep,
I was right.
There we go. Boom, August 16th.
Oh,
so
August 16th. Yeah, it's a really great thing. TVG helps us out. The DRF helps us out. We're just spreading the word for Aftercare. That's it. And it doesn't matter if you can give $20 or $100. Like all the money counts, and I think one of the things with charities, when you're not really sure, you don't really know where it's going to go. This goes to the horses, so you can be sure of that, and I think that's really important.
So tell me how accurate this sounds. If somebody were to ask me, who is Billy Koch? I would say sports fan, horse racing enthusiast, found a way to share his interests, his knowledge in horse racing with thousands of different other people and make that his life. He introduces people to racing and ownership, shows them the highs and lows and how fun it can be to get involved with friends. That's who I think you are. Does that sound accurate?
I like that. That sounds great. Yeah.
Awesome.
But you didn't say handsome.
I was going to say, okay.
That kind of bummed me out.
I was going to say, like I am, the grades come in a little bit every year for us as we get older and as the kids get a little bit older. So I was going to.
It's so bad. But I have to keep my beard because I'm starting to get a little double chin right here. And it's
so it covers it.
And then
I got my old scar that I cover mine from too. Yeah.
And then my wife is like, maybe you should dye that. And I'm like, I'm not. Really? No, man, that's cool.
It's good.
Exactly.
It's distinguished. Absolutely,
man.
Billy.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate
it.
I wish you the best of luck on the pod, and I hope
you.
people are listening and asking you questions. I think that's really important. Make sure you get out there to the masses and find out who else they want to talk to.
Absolutely. Billy Koch, founder of Little Red Feather Racing. Billy, thanks so much for taking your time. Good luck all throughout the meet at Del Mar, and I'll see you down there one of these weekends.
All right, let's pick some winners.
Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Off the Track podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. That way you'll get every episode delivered right to you. We're available on Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music, and the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel.